I feel like Christians will be crushed between atheists and radical Muslims. Yes, I agree. Yeah, atheist, secularist, Islamist, Nazis, and Nazis can fall into the former category of atheists because a lot of Nazis get into Darwinism, but you also have Catholic Nazis as well. And that's going to be the big deception, I believe. I think and you're seeing it already, I think the big deception right now is far right ideology. That's what I believe. I think that is the big deception. Everyone's focusing on the woke, wokeism and this and that, but wokeism is not deceptive. It's not. It's not deceptive. If it wasn't, listen, if wokeism is actually deceptive, why is it so unpopular? It's not deceptive. It's not tricky. And I've said this many times, and this is why I think the whole woke thing is a psyop, because it's just too obvious. It's just too obvious. It's like the big elephant in the room. It's too obvious. And you look into this whole thing with wokeism, and they think, oh, this is the big bad enemy. This is it right here. This is communism. It's socialism. It's what Fatima warned us about. And then you have all the people who are anti-woke. And what do you see amongst them? People who embrace Sodom, people who embrace eugenics, people who embrace this dark enlightenment movement. And then you have so-called Christians and so-called conservatives embracing the anti-woke movement, regardless of how evil the anti-woke movement is. You have literally a Rabbi Dennis Prager, anti-woke, pushing PDF fileism. So it's the whole thing is sickening. And my whole point is wokeism is not deceptive. It's not. All these video game companies that are promoting wokeism in their games, what's happening to all these companies? They're all hurting financially. Look at what's happening right now with Ubisoft. You have this whole thing with, you have the situation going on with Assassin's Creed Shadows and this, and I've never been a big Assassin's Creed fan. Never. I played the first two Assassin's Creed games, never finished them. But I did play both of them, and I found the Assassin's Creed games to be, frankly, very tedious. I've never really been a big fan of them. Not a huge fan of Elden Ring, but I would play Elden Ring over Assassin's Creed any day. I find Assassin's Creed, like I said, to be a very tedious game. Regardless of my own preferences, Assassin's Creed has been a very, very popular game genre, very popular game franchise. Sorry, maybe franchise is not the right word. It's been a very popular universe. And then you look at the most recent Assassin's Creed game, and it's placed in Japan. Great, we're gonna play a samurai. We're gonna play a Japanese samurai. No, you're actually gonna play an NFL linebacker who is dressed up as a samurai, and you're gonna be playing a 90-pound Japanese woman. And also, the NFL linebacker is gay. He has two gay lovers in the game. And the whole game is basically soiled. I mean, the whole game they spoiled the entire game. It's garbage. There are I've seen some of the gameplay. There are some fun-looking aspects of the gameplay itself. Running around, you're fighting people with samurai swords, riding a horse, right? Those tend to be very fun characteristics of a game. But with that said, the game is ruined. It's spoiled. The whole thing is spoiled. And I will never buy that game, ever. I will never play it. And you have people already hating on this game. The stock value for Ubisoft has declined. The game was already leaked even before it was released. People were already playing the game in Iran. It was already bootlegged. I mean, the whole game is cursed. In fact, there's a whole meme online about how the game is a cursed game. But if wokeism truly was super deceptive, people would be playing Assassin's Creed. People would be playing and loving Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they would be loving games like Avowed and all these woke-ish type games. But they're not liking these games. People hate on these games. In fact, there is an entire industry for people making YouTube videos about how shitty woke games are and woke films are and woke TV series are. Why? And you have these YouTube videos that are criticizing woke media, woke artwork, woke shows, woke games, woke films, and these videos get millions upon millions of views. The people who make these videos make a lot of money making them. There's a whole industry there's a whole industry of being anti-woke. So if being woke is so deceptive, if wokeism is such a deceptive conspiracy, why are so many people hating it? And I was watching this one thing, it was from, I want to say CNN or MSNBC, showing that statistically speaking, the left in the United States is at its lowest level of popularity that it ever has been in years. Tons of people now hate the left. And now you have American liberals who hate the left. And that's the whole Dave Rubin phenomenon. You know, I'm a liberal, but I hate the left. Sam Harris is a liberal who hates Donald Trump, but he loves the whole race and IQ theory. And that right there makes him... That right there is an overlap with the hard right. The hard right and Sam Harris will agree on that. And so you see what you see happening is this overlapping between the right wing and liberals. And in some cases, you can't even distinguish between them. And so the left, as we know it, is sort of dying. And what you have to replace it is this return back to 20th century progressivism, where people are embracing eugenics. That's a progressive idea. People are embracing a lot of hardline nationalism. And so you see this whole leviathan forming, and a lot of people who identify as liberal are joining that leviathan. People who have liberal views, especially when it comes to abortion and Sodom, are joining that leviathan. And even in some cases, they actually will say that they're pro-choice because they don't want to see retarded people and they want black people to kill as many unborn black babies as possible. And they say that's why they're pro-choice. I mean, we saw that with Richard Spencer. So it's just a giant ideological leviathan that's forming. And you see it in the Western world. You see it in the United States with people embracing Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a liberal. He's not really your classic American conservative. He's a liberal. He's pro-choice. He believes in embryo selection. He wants to colonize Mars. He wants everyone to have freaking microchips implanted into their brains. And for how many decades? Were we in the United States hearing about the mark of the beast? The mark of the beast is going to come and people are going to get a microchip. They're going to force people to have a microchip. They're going to put a microchip in people's brains. And if you don't take the microchip, then you won't be able to buy and sell because that's going to be the mark of the beast. And the Antichrist is going to try to force people to get a microchip implanted into their bodies and blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to 2024. Fast forward to 2023. And what did we see? Fast forward to 2025. And what do we see? Conservatives, even Christians, loving Elon Musk, a man who wants everyone to have a microchip implanted into their brain. Whatever happened to all that rhetoric about the mark of the beast? I kid you not. I've seen this in my own life. I know a guy, I've known this guy since the 1990s. He was a Baptist decades ago. He did Bible studies. He still does Bible studies. He was always a Bible-believing man, hardcore Protestant, hates the Catholic Church. For decades, this guy was talking about the mark of the beast, 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 the mark of the beast. Be a microchip. It's going to be 666. It's going to be a microchip. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy should be on my side, right? Wrong. I talk to this dude on the phone and I say, what do you think about Elon Musk? Oh, I think he's great. And I said, well, hold on, but don't you think this guy's a eugenist? He goes, Ted, that is the liberal mainstream media. What happened to all the bullshit about the microchip? Whatever happened to all the talk about the mark of the beast? Now, all of a sudden, because Elon Musk is on your team, even though he is antithetical to Christianity, because he's on your team, it doesn't matter if he wants to implant a microchip into your brain. He's one of the good guys. Do you see what's happening here? What's happening is the absorption of everyone. You're getting liberals, you're getting Christians, you're getting people who are in the middle, you're getting people who are center right, you're getting people who are center left, and they're all ideologically overlapping together. And you see them loving Dave Rubin. You see them loving Jordan Peterson. You see them loving the AfD in Germany. You see them loving Elon Musk. You see them loving literal Nazis. And you see them even loving people like, I kid you not, I remember going to this Catholic church years ago, and I was talking to this lady, and she said, I love watching Stefan Molyneux. I said, hold on, but Stefan Molyneux is a eugenist. She said, well, I don't have to agree with everything, but I love watching him. And she had that Mississippi accent. So you see what I'm saying here? It's an absorption. It's a leviathan that's absorbing people of all sorts of different ideological beliefs. It's absorbing the general factions of the Western world. So, and I began to see this in 2011. That's when I began to see this phenomenon. In 2011, when they had the log cabin Republicans. I don't know why they call them that. It's fucking creepy. Like log cabin Republicans. Are they going to take you to a cabin in the woods and some lumberjack is going to hack you to pieces? Like, what sort of crazy shit is this? What sort of crazy cult shit is this? It's sickening. The log cabin Republicans, gay Republicans. And I noticed, I remember Rush Limbaugh said, hey, I don't like this. You know, Rush Limbaugh was sort of old school. So he said, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like how CPAC is bringing in these log cabin people and all this stuff. You know, like Rush Limbaugh was old school like that. I wasn't a huge fan of Rush Limbaugh, but I give him credit for that. And then we saw we saw what's his name? Steve Crowder. We saw freaking Steve Crowder doing a speech saying we must absorb. Oh my God. Yeah. I remember Steve Crowder in 2011 saying we must embrace the gay Republicans. That was the beginning. I think that was truly the beginning when all this shit began. They started embracing Sodom. And there was a guy, I admire this person to this day for this. There was a guy, his name was Ryan Sorba. You've probably never heard of Ryan Sorba. But Ryan Sorba was a growing young voice in the Republican Party, in the American conservative movement. Christian guy, you know, classic American Christian conservative. Ryan Sorba was invited to speak for CPAC. This is back in 2011, 2012, one of those years. Ryan Sorba was the only guy who had the soul. He was the only guy who had the heart to get up on CPAC and say, what the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you bringing in Sodom into the conservative movement? Do you know what happened to Ryan Sorba? He was booed off the stage.
Just to change the subject for just a second, I'd like to condemn CPAC for bringing Go Pride to this event. Bring it. I love it. Guess what? All right? Guess what? Civil rights are grounded in natural rights. Natural rights are grounded in human nature. Human nature is a rational substance in relationship. The intelligible end of the reproductive act is reproduction. Do you understand that? Civil rights, when they conflict with natural rights, are contrary. Now you sit down. The lesbians at Smith College protest better than you do. The lesbians at Smith College protest better than you do. All right? Bring it. Yeah, Yal is my enemy. Jeff Frazee, guess what? You just made an enemy out of me, buddy. Yeah, you, Jeff Frazee, you made an enemy out of me. Thanks a lot.
Freedom of opinion. Freedom of opinion. Freedom of opinion.
Yes, the American conservative movement booed this man off the stage. And the people who booed him off, where are they right now? I'm sure they're all anti-woke. Oh, we all hate the woke stuff. But when Brian Sorba got up on stage in 2011 or 2012 and he said, what the fuck are you guys doing embracing Sodom? This is bullshit. People booed him off the stage and he left. And Ryan Sorba went down the road of obscurity. Go figure. That's the American conservative movement. And then what happened? Fast forward, 2013, 2014, we saw most of this shit. And when I was combating the Sodom movement in 2012, 2013, 2014, do you know who were 2015, 2016, do you know who were my biggest enemies? Christians. American Christians were my biggest enemies. And in 2017, when I exposed Dennis Prager, and I showed that Dennis Prager was saying on the Dave Rubin show, the Bible says, this is what he said. He said that the Bible says, men, you can be just as happy with boys as you are with girls, which is absolutely just fucking sickening. No matter how you look at it, it's sickening. There's no context in which that is appropriate. And I exposed Dennis Prager for that. And almost everyone went against me. Almost everyone went against me for that. So what was happening? What happened to the conservative movement, which was about values and about the Bible and Christianity? It's gone. It's gone. It's a giant leviathan that has absorbed all sorts of different factions. Liberals, center-left, center-right, Nazis. It's embraced these people. Eugenists. It's embraced them. And that's why you have Elon Musk going to Germany saying, AFD is our only... Sorry, you have Elon Musk speaking with one of the leaders of the AFD, Alice Weidel, and he says the only hope for Germany is this Nazi party. It's a Nazi party. And that's why you have J.D. Vance, the Catholic, going to Munich and supporting the AFD. And that's why you see the Americans supporting the AFD. And if you look at any conservative outlet on YouTube, any conservative outlet, Lotus, whatever the fuck they are, Lotus Eaters, they're like right-wing Lotus Eaters, Victor Davis Hanson, all these guys, they all have nothing negative to say about the AFD. Not one point of criticism for this German nationalist party. Not one point of criticism against the resurgence of German militarism and racism. Not one. Am I the one that's delusional? Am I the one that's crazy? Not one of these bastards are talking about this? That's the thing that's sickening. And when I saw Elon Musk doing the Nazi salute, I said, okay, this right now, this is the canary in the coal mine. Let's see how the conservatives react to this one. Are they going to be aghast? Are they going to be flabbergasted? Are they going to be shocked, surprised, befuddled? Will they be filled with consternation? No! They all embrace this guy. Why? Because it's a demonic movement. And the fact that Jordan Peterson and all these guys became the most popular voices, and they don't have shit to say about what's happening in Europe, tells me that that is the deception. When you see Catholics embracing Nazis, and when you see people who are pro-life embracing people who are eugenists, and when you see conservatives listening to eugenists like Stefan Molyneux and the like, or the Proud Boys, or any one of these lunatics, that's the deception. And when you see people just rejecting a product because it's woke, not saying wokeism is good, all I'm saying is wokeism is not the great deception that we think it is. And if you are so proud of yourself because you're anti-woke and you figured it out, that's not the flex you think it is, because everyone else has figured that shit out.